Hi, how you doing? And welcome back to a video on the channel. What we have for you today is our top 5 defenders in FPL. So a lot of people are starting to pick their teams. You're going to need some defenders in it. So let's talk about who the best options are. This follows on from our goalkeepers video yesterday. If you are new to the channel and want to keep track of all the videos that we're doing before the start of the season, please do subscribe, like the video, greatly appreciated. And let's get into it. So starting with number 5. And I've gone with a Stupinan here. He is the highest owned defender in FPL, playing for Brighton. Brighton's fixtures at the start of the season don't look too bad. I do think his price is what is making him so highly owned and such a positive player to get in your team. I do think you have to keep in check what you're actually expecting from Brighton and from a Brighton defender here. He's not going to get assists every week. Brighton aren't necessarily going to get clean sheets every week. So I think it's important to keep some sort of perspective in your players. But nevertheless, he is a good option for a solid team that will hopefully at least start the season well before European football maybe takes over a bit. Our fourth defender on the list is Reece James. Now, this again comes with a bit of an asterisk next to it in terms of can he stay fit? If he stays fit and plays every game of the season, he is such a bargain price here at 5.5 million. I think he is going to be first choice right back in the Chelsea team. Chelsea's fixtures look quite good. I think, we've spoken about from an attacking point of view whether it's all going to click for Chelsea. But I think defensively, it's usually a bit more easy to get that right early on than it is to from an attacking point of view. So I think the defense is something that could come together a bit quicker. Hopefully in time for the Luton game, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, even Fulham. Fantastic fixtures from a defensive point of view. Sorry, and he is someone that once he's got a clean sheet could also get the odd assist as well. Our third defender on the list is Trent. Now, when you're talking about Trent, what you have to bear in mind is the price. Can would you rather have Trent or would you rather have Reece James and 2.5 million to spend elsewhere in your team? And it's judging the difference between what he is worth compared to his other options in FPL. I think, he does get double digit assists every season, so that is guaranteed. But I think last year it kind of came in bunches. I think they weren't quite consistently spread throughout the season. They were more just, he got a few more towards the end of the season, I think, when he started playing in midfield. Obviously, if Klopp puts him in centre midfield, which is likely considering Liverpool have completely revamp their whole midfield structure. I think that's something else you need to bear in mind because that might increase his value. I know a lot of people sometimes they look at Trent and say, well, what about the 8 million midfielders? Rather than comparing Trent to other defenders, you should compare him to midfielders of similar price. And I think that's a good argument as well. But there are some good value midfielders this season. You've got like Foden 7.5, got Mitoma 6.5. Even someone like Saka's only 8.5. So I think he is the most expensive he's ever been, Trent. So that is something worth, bearing in mind. If you can afford him, I'd say get him in, but he is very expensive. Our second defender on the list is Kieran Trippier. Now, he is pretty highly owned, 35.1%. But whilst that is high ownership, I think you also have to bear in mind that 2 out of 3 managers don't own Trippier. I think if you're getting him in instead of Trent, I think that's a good value buy. I think you're saving 2 million and you've got someone who's on set pieces for a good team. I think if you're expecting Newcastle to get as many clean sheets as they did last season, I think you'll probably be disappointed. So then you're also comparing him to maybe someone like Botman, who's 4.5 million, and saying, well, is Trippier worth 2 million more than every other Newcastle defender? I think there's a chance he is, but I think there's also good alternatives out there if you can't afford it. I wouldn't necessarily break your team to get Trippier in. I'd say, oh, well, there's some other Newcastle defenders I can get in as well. The fixtures also don't start great. So I think if you're planning to get him in after, game week 5, say, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. I just bear in mind Newcastle's clean sheet situation might not be as good as it was last season. And finally, our top defender on the list, I've put Saliba here. I would essentially say any Arsenal defender. you should absolutely have an Arsenal defender in your team at the start of the season. They're all pretty much the same price. Ben White is 0.5 million more, which maybe isn't worth it. And I've put Saliba in here because I think he is, more likely to start than the other Arsenal defenders. But the point remains that rather than just getting Saliba in your team, you should really have an Arsenal defender in your team. The fixtures look too good for me. Arsenal are a pretty solid team. They know what they're doing. And yeah, that's it. So let me know what you think. Have I missed any defenders out? Would you maybe change the order of the defenders in that I've put them in? Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.